Hi, I'm Roxy, and this is Ray, and
I'm Ray.
and we are Chicken on the Road. This is Ray's Jeep, Chicken on a Chain, and we are working on replacing the engine so that we can take the Jeep to South America. The engine that's in there kind of blew something. I don't know what, but because I don't know anything about cars really at all. So Ray's been working on cars his whole life, so he knows how to do all this stuff. But he's going to give me a real simple explanation as to how an engine works. That way, when we're in South America, I have some basic knowledge.
Well, it would be nice for you to understand some basics anyway, so that when I try and explain what's going on with a particular issue or system, you have an idea of what I'm talking about. All you hear is Ray wants to buy more Jeep parts.
Yep,
So,
I hear that all the time. So he's going to spin the little timey chainy thingy.
yes, that's timing chain. That's the thingy.
That's the thingy, and that's the
Yeah.
timey chainy.
Yeah, normally you would spin the crank, but I don't. This is a replacement engine we bought. It's a used engine, and that's not in there. So there's the head's setting on there, but it's not. There's no bolts in it. There's no push rods, no lifters, nothing. So it's not hurting the engine for the YouTube experts who will like to chime in.
So
It turns really easy. Um, so yeah. So you wanted the very basic overview of how an engine works.
yes,
So air goes in, fire happens, and power comes out and does work.
very helpful.
Work. Anyway,
Air goes in.
if you have an automatic transmission, power comes out, utter disappointment, and then little work comes out. An automatic transmission sucks the power out of an engine. It eats so much power. Which is one reason why one thing we're doing is we're making this manual transmission. We're converting it, which that's a little bit of work, but
Okay.
it'll be okay. You're going to learn to run a grinder and all kinds of stuff when we get to that part.
Nice.
Because we have some mounts and stuff we have to move around and clearance and
So
stuff.
let me make sure I got this right. Air goes in,
Mm-hmm.
fire happens,
Mm-hmm.
power comes out.
Mm-hmm. And it does work. So anyway, okay. So you've changed your air filter in your truck before?
Yes.
You just did it recently.
For the first time ever.
So air goes in there. It goes in here. The fire, this is going up and down. It makes an explosion. Work comes out. Is that better? No?
Very helpful.
Okay. So everybody knows their engine spins. Okay.
Well, I didn't really know that, but okay.
You didn't know that?
Not really.
Oh. Well, the engine spinning goes through your transmission spinning, which spins your drive shaft, which makes your wheels spinning. So there's a whole lot of spinning going on.
A lot of spinning.
A lot of spinning. How that happens, this is this top half of the motor. This would be considered a long block. A long block is everything but the accessories. So what we got going on here, I'm going to leave this on. I'm just going to kind of cant it to the side so we can explain stuff a little better. There we go. Inside the engine, we have pistons.
What is a piston?
That thing.
That big metal thing inside.
It's aluminum.
It's aluminum.
Yes, ma'am.
An aluminum piston.
Inside a cast iron block.
Up and down.
Up and down in that hole. That hole is called the cylinder. Okay. So when you hit your key, it starts an electric motor that's attached to the backside of the engine that starts spinning this. And that's the first thing that happens is it starts spinning this crankshaft. And this cranks over, because you hear the term, it doesn't crank. Well, when your battery works, it does crank. So anyway, it cranks over, and that begins the rotation of the crankshaft, and it begins the up and down motion of the piston. What happens, here we're going to talk right at the top, they call this top dead center. So it's at the top, and it's right in the center. So anyway, as it cranks, when it goes down, it sucks air in. An engine is this is a gasoline engine. An engine is an air pump. That's all it is. All it is air goes in, air goes out. It's really that basic. So what happens is it sucks air in, and it sucks air in into this piston. through the cylinder head, through your valves, which are these little circle things in here. Okay? I don't know if you can see that.
Which valve is in? The black
Big
one or
one.
the big one?
The
over
big one
there?
is in. That one is exhaust. Intake and exhaust. So what you can see in here, you can kind of, if you look up in there, I don't know, are you able to see the valve? It's a little pin with a puck on the end. So you see the...
Oh yeah, if you get the light right, I can see it.
Okay, you look down in this way. You can, oh yeah, there you go. All right. So that shaft is what this little piece up here. That's the top of that shaft. Goes down in there, and then that little round puck piece, that little puck piece on the bottom is the end of the valve, and that's what you saw. So when this gets pushed open, okay, that's pulling down. This is open, and it's sucking air in, and the fuel. Cars today are now fuel injected, not carbureted. So the fuel injection system sprays gasoline in there in a mist. Oxygen and gasoline, well, they burn. Okay, you need fuel, air, and spark to make a fire, and that's what you're doing. This is 6 cylinders. So you got 6 little controlled fires. So it goes. That air's pulling. It's pulling that air in. It's pulling and spraying in gasoline, and when it gets to the bottom, I'm going to go back over again. So we watch this. Can you see down in there, Rox?
Yeah.
So when it gets to the bottom, once it gets to the bottom, that valve closes. Okay? And then this is full of gasoline and air, all mixed up in a mist, which is super, super flammable. So it takes that air and it compresses it, which is what the second stroke is called. The first stroke is called the intake, so it takes air in. The second stroke is a 4-stroke engine. The second stroke is called the compression stroke, so it compresses all that air. And it's just like firecracker on your hand, it goes off, it burns your hand. Firecracker in your hand, you close it, you lose your hand. Same thing with air and gasoline. So it's that rapid expansion. So that little, when it gets to the top, the computer tells your spark plug to fire, and the spark plug makes a fire, and that fuel air mixture explodes, and it explodes and it shoves that piston all the way back down to the bottom again. And that's where your power, that's called your power stroke, because that's where it made power, and that's what drives your crankshaft around, which, like I said, that crankshaft is spinning all the way through your engine, into your transmission, and your drive shaft out into your wheels.
Okay.
So, and then when it gets to the bottom, it has all of that burnt exhaust gas in there. So like the leftovers from the hydrocarbons, the leftovers from the gasoline and the oxygen being burnt. Carbon monoxide is in there. So that needs to come out in order for do that. So what's happening is after that gets to the bottom, that power stroke is enough inertia to push it back out the top. So it pushes it out. It opens the other valve, the smaller one, the exhaust valve. Same thing, it's just a little bit smaller. The exhaust valve, it opens that up and it pushes that spent air out your exhaust pipe. And that's how it happens. That's as basic as it gets.
And then what are these things? The pins?
What are you doing?
You got these pinny things.
Oh, okay. So, what we got here?
You got those
well, yeah. So
flitter things over here.
Yeah. Here's a penny thing. So, how do you want to see this? So the crankshaft, if you look under here, Rox, as we spin, that's what all those are connected to. Okay? While that's spinning around, it's got throws on it. So it's not just spinning, it's spinning like this. And that's what pushes that piston up and down. Okay? There's another shaft over here called the camshaft, and it's got lobes on it. And just like it says, it's a cam. So it, at a certain point, it rotates differently because it has a special knob on it. Hard to explain, I know. But you need to, when that cam lobe comes up, this is a push rod engine. Overhead cam engines are different. This is where things start getting different. So as that cam comes up, if you look over here, Rox, that cam pushes up. So this has a little knob on one side of it, and every time it comes around, it pushes this up. Okay? When it pushes that up, This is normally on top of here. And this is normally in here like this. Here you go. So when that pushes, these are normally bolted down. So this doesn't actually come up. This stays still and it rocks. That's why this is called a rocker arm. So this pushes this up, that pushes that down, and that's what opens that valve. So now all of this happens very precise time in a very precise manner, which is why engines are very expensive. These are all made, all these parts made by machinists.
Which is what Ray does.
This is what I do
for a living.
So I don't make engine. Well, I make helicopter engine parts right now, but so yeah, that's how that works. I'm just trying to keep as much dirt out of those as possible. We have to clean them all out. We're done, but
well, thank you for that explanation. I think I definitely understand an engine a little bit better now.
a little.
So we would really appreciate it if all of y'all would say hello in our comments.
Say hi.
Say hi, just so we know that you're watching. If you have any questions or you want to comment on anything that we've said here, we would love those comments.
Or criticize.
Yeah, you could criticize if you want to.
I don't care.
We won't take it personally.
Yeah, if you're looking to hurt my feelings, you're barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah. Ray knows what he's doing, basically. I don't know what I'm doing at all.
Basically, yeah.
He watches a lot of YouTube videos, but he's got a lot of experience.
No. I do watch a lot of YouTube videos. But no, I am not a YouTube mechanic by any means.
Yeah, he's been working on cars his whole life.
Yeah.
So, and he's replaced the engine in this Jeep before.
Yeah, this is a third one.
So
the Jeep has 338,000 miles on it, so it's okay to have a third engine.
Yeah. So please follow us.
Like, subscribe, and share.
Like, subscribe, and share. It helps a lot. And the more comments we can get, the better. So we would love your comments, even if it's just a hello. It really helps. Love y'all. Have a great day.